Okay, let's go.
All right, welcome everybody to the big show. Ken Nowitzki here, Into the Storm. Guys, all kinds of great stuff getting ready to just get thrown out there at you. So just hang on tight. Whether it's at the local level, we got all kinds of stuff happening at the local level, especially if you're tired of the Democrats being missing in action. And at the national level, man, Trump is just setting them up and knocking them down left and right. There's absolutely, it's a juggernaut. I don't think they know exactly what to do. But the great thing is things are happening. So once again, welcome to the big show. My name is Ken Nowitzki, and this is Into the Storm. And if you guys like this show, we talk about politics, talk about life, talk about culture. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about sports. Man, we're going to talk about all kinds of good stuff because we're multi-dimensional. That's what we are here. We're not just any one thing. We're a whole bunch of cool things. But today we're going to talk local politics for a little bit, and then we're going to talk a little bit of national. Then we're going to let you guys get out of here and get ready for dinner and hang out with your family because family is always first. Now, at the local level, right here in Rochester, Minnesota for District 25 and District 24, if you're interested in signing the petition, okay, to get the recall efforts going, you can do that at the Eagles Thursday the 6th from 4:30 p.m. till 7 p.m. And that's going to be an opportunity for you to come in great numbers. Now, I want you to get together with all your Republican friends, all of the people that you know that are patriots, that love this nation, that love the Republic here, and especially if they love Minnesota. We got to get Minnesota fixed, and the Democrats are missing in action. You're going to want to be at the Eagles Club here in Southeast Rochester. It's going to kick off at 4:30 p.m. It's going to go to 7 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday the 6th, so get that done. Bring neighbors, bring other Republicans, bring friends, bring anybody you can bring, and we want to get those numbers on the recall petition way up. Now, we only need 25 signatures, but guys, that's not the point. The point is we need many signatures. We need to let them know that we're not playing, and they need to get their ass to work. And the only seem to get that hint when they have pressure put on them. So the Democrats literally are missing in action. They're taking photo ops. They're doing some organized community building. That's what they're doing. They're going out and seeing some small businesses, or they're going over here and taking pictures at the round table over here. But the reality is they're just not doing their work. So nothing is getting done in Minnesota. Now, yesterday I was watching the press conference, and I'll tell you what, one of the gentlemen that was on there made a perfect point, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. He basically said, 2.5 years ago when the Republicans lost in the House and the Senate, didn't win the governor's mansion, they still realized that they had to show up even though they had no say in anything. And remember, there was no power sharing, zero power sharing. The Democrats said, we got this, man. We got it. Just sit back and relax. And they pushed through one far left-wing disgusting progressive program after another. Tampons in boys' rooms. They burned through $18 billion in your tax dollars. And for just regular old patriotic Americans and Minnesotans, didn't have much to show for it. But there was a lot of special interest money in there, and that's where it got really ridiculous. So what's the difference? The Democrats have the mansion. They got the governor's mansion, and they got the Senate. So what? You don't have the House. You're one below in the House. The Republicans have got the majority, but you make a decision to dig in and not come in because you're playing sore loser. This is all nonsense. Of course you don't like not having control. You've had it for the last 2.5 years, and you've destroyed the state. You've pushed through garbage that regular Minnesotans, whether you be farmers, small business owners, union members, nurses, doctors, teachers, you literally destroyed the state of Minnesota. And now you're just sitting around playing sour grapes. You're going to take your ball and go home. So if you're a Republican and you want to get this recall effort going, Senate District 25 and 24, and of course 24A and 25A and B, you're going to go to the Eagles tomorrow, Thursday the 6th, from 4:30 to 7, and you can get those papers signed. It'll take you literally a couple minutes. It'll all be taken care of for you. We've got plenty of volunteers there, and we're going to knock this thing out. We're going to get it done, and we're not going to mess around with this nonsense anymore. Now, the national news, President Trump, man, oh man, he's lighting things on fire. He's just knocking things out. He is doing things so fast, and he's signing these executive orders. Now, I like what he's doing. It's amazing. I hope that some of this comes back through and we can get, some congressional approvals and put through as law. I mean, executive orders are great and they will help in the short term without question, securing the border, working these other trade deals and all the other things that are working. Executive orders are great, but we do definitely need our lawmakers to pass them into law. And I hope that does take place. But right now, man, look at this. At the national level, you got Canada basically telling the United States, listen, you're on your own. We're not going to do this. We're going to put tariffs on Teslas. We're going to dig in. And then the president basically told them, this is what we want from you guys. We expect you to secure the border. And we expect you guys to actually stop the fentanyl. We expect you to be a partner in this. The 51st state talk and all that stuff. This is the president's way of negotiating. He's letting them know that, listen, we have the power. We don't need anything you guys have. We really, truly don't. We love you guys. You're our brothers and our sisters to the north. But, the 51st state, the governor, the mayor, all this other good stuff with Trudeau, they end up backing down and put $900 million into border security to help solve the northern border crisis. Now, the northern border crisis isn't so much about migration as it is about fentanyl. Fentanyl's been funneling in through Vancouver. In Vancouver, you can do whatever the hell you want in Vancouver. It's almost like Portland. It's actually worse than Portland. They do a really good job of hiding it. But in Vancouver, man, you've got a mess happening in Vancouver. Lax laws, and fentanyl is all over British Columbia and Vancouver. And then it makes its way down through the northern border into the United States, and it kills innocent men, women, and children right here in the United States. So $900 million is being taken and put aside to make sure that the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and the Border Patrol agents over there can finally start to break down and stop this ridiculous bullshit that we've been putting up with on the northern border. And it's also going to stop what immigration problems there are. It should absolutely stop that dead in its tracks. Colombia didn't want to take their patriots back. They didn't want them to be repatriated. Didn't want people in handcuffs. Remember that? That was the big thing. I won't take anybody back. Well, now they've already acquiesced and they're sending planes in, and the Colombians, they're going home. They're on their way home. Panama Canal. China has been knee deep. They've got basically touch points at the beginning and the end. Hell, I think they're building an embassy on one of the ends of the Panama Canal. China had signs all over the place, Chinese signs all over the Panama Canal. They were basically working their way in, nudging in there, and that's no longer the case. They've been pulling those signs down, signed a brand new agreement with the United States. China is out of the Panama Canal. That's just through the president saying we're going to take the canal back. Are we going to take the canal back? Who knows? I don't know if we're going to take it back. Why not? They've already broke the truce and the treaty that we had, and we could. I mean, it'd be nice to have the Panama Canal back. We spent 38,000 people died building the damn thing. It's basically ours, but we foolishly gave it back to them. So at the end of the day, no matter what happens from this point forward, it's already a win-win because we're already getting back in there, which means our ships and our military are going to get much better deals going through the canal that our Americans put blood, sweat, and tears in. And, Mexico, the Mexican president, she basically stepped up and said, no, we're not going to do any of that. And, of course, after about 24 hours, she's acquiesced and is putting, I believe it's 100,000 troops or 10,000 troops, some amount of money out there on the southern border, on their southern border, so people will stop coming in to the, southern side of Mexico, and she's going to help secure the border on the northern part here to help us with our Border Patrol and our National Guard. So that's going to help a great deal, as well as the president now finally coming out and saying that the cartels in Mexico are terrorist groups. And you bet your ass they're terrorist groups. By the grace of God, we now can use military action against these people because they have been killing innocent Americans for years and years and years. And the Biden administration did nothing. Zero. They could not care less about what was happening on the southern border. And now, President Trump is carrying a big stick. And if I'm not mistaken, we've already had some reconnaissance flights going along the shores down in Mexico, and they're already starting to scope out areas where they believe the cartel strongholds are. And if I were the cartel right now, I would be kind of looking around going, dude, I don't think this is good. And I can tell them it's not good at all. The United States military is nothing to be messed with, especially when they're on point and focused on the important things like being a hammer to nails. If you're a nail right now and you guys are acting up, I would be in very, very short order pulling my stuff together, because our military is there and the enrollment numbers are starting to go up through the roof, and it's all because of pride of country. And that is 100% because of the landslide victory by our president. Riviera on the Middle East. Now, this has got some people losing their damn mind. They're going crazy about this. By now, you should know that the president is all about deal making. Now, 50 years this has been going on. Same result. It's a total and complete disaster over there. Every time they build up the Gaza Strip, terrorists come out of the woodwork. They end up getting it mowed back down by Israel because they do something foolish. And October 7th just destroyed everything for these people. Once the terrorists attacked Israel the way they did it, their September 11th, there's no way Israel was going to leave that place standing. They flattened it. So it's basically rubble. It really is. So the Palestinian people, under Trump's beliefs, if it were to become taken by the United States, would be built up and the people of the world could live there. The Palestinians who still have Palestinian pride, they're working with Saudi Arabia, some other people in the Middle East, possibly finding land for them to carve out so that they can live in peace and harmony and finally put peace in the Middle East. Now, the reality is, I don't know that that's going to be the end result, but the problem is the Palestinian Authority, as well as Hamas, they refuse to sign any peace treaties. They refuse to do any peace deals. As a matter of fact, some of the leaders of Hamas have already said, as soon as we get back in there and we get reestablished, we're going to make October happen all over again, bigger and better. So there is no peace on the horizon for the poor Palestinian people as long as they have such amazingly horrendous leadership. So maybe the United States taking over that land isn't a bad idea because there'll be stability there. And most of the Palestinian people do want to live in peace with the Israelis. It's their leadership that is just god-awful, and they refuse to just acquiesce and live in peace with their brothers and sisters. Please keep in mind, Israel gives them all their water, all their electricity, all their energy. Without Israel doing that for the Palestinian people, they would have nothing. They would have nothing. So they literally bite the hand that feeds them, which is a shame because it doesn't need to be this way. A two-state solution? No, it's not the answer. They've been talking about that for 25 years. Every time they do it, it up and disappears. It's a disaster. So there needs to be peace, but the people on the left are losing their mind because they can't keep up with all of the things that are happening, and they still have not learned their lesson. Americans are big on peace, prosperity, secure borders, safe towns, safe cities, safe streets. Want to keep more of our own money. We don't want men playing in girls' sports. Got that coming up here, protecting women's sports, executive order signed today by the president. We are not that complex of creatures. We really don't want much except people to leave us alone and let us keep more of our money and live in safe, prosperous areas to build our families and fulfill our dreams. That's what we want. It's not that big of a deal. And the last thing I want to touch on here, man, if they haven't figured it out by now, these executive orders just getting signed, bang, 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 bang. The media, which is absolutely horrible, they're garbage. The mainstream media is terrible. I mean, even locally here, KTTC and KIMT, they're just putting stories out there, and it's clickbait, and they're getting people riled up. Of course, they want to divide us. That's what they want to do. But they don't even know where to look. Everything's happening so fast, and they're just trying to get their wits about them. But it's just all great stuff. Whether it's, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, better trade deals. We've already got better trade deals in the works because of, Yes, tariff threats. Imagine that, threatening companies and countries that are taking advantage of you. And at the end of the day, you end up getting better deals. We have a deal-making administration that is all business. The last 4 years was a shit show. It was garbage on steroids. It was embarrassing. It isn't that any longer. And watching the DNC the other day, the Democrat National, they're trying to get their group together, and David Hogg is the vice chair or whatever. This is a clown show minus the tent, and it's hilarious. And at the national level, it's just as bad here at the state level. They refuse to go to work. So it's just one big circus. Put up a tent, start selling tickets because the show's going to get good. Protecting women in sports. I can't believe that this is the topic that it is. I really can't. Anybody who knows anything about science knows that men's bone densities are greater, muscle structure is much greater, bigger hearts, bigger lungs, and when men play with women at a high level, women unfortunately get hurt. That's just the way it goes. I can't for the life of me understand why all women aren't on board with this. All of the blood, sweat, and tears that was shed for women to have the rights that they have, not only in sports, but just in life in general. And all of a sudden, men are coming charging back in saying that they're women and insisting that they have all of the rights that women. They can go into women's bathrooms when there's children in it. They can play in women's sports. They can take women's opportunities away from them when it comes to college and scholarships and NIL money. God forbid, I hate NIL money. What a nightmare that is. But at the end of the day, the Protecting Women's Sports Act is going to totally and completely eliminate all of this nonsense. Women have every right to be able to go out there and participate and not have their opportunities taken by biological males. So any way you look at this, we have got things happening that are a big time plus for the United States of America and for each and every citizen. There's a lot of Democrats that are, you can unfriend me, you can unfollow me. Guys, listen, man. Whatever floats your boat, I could not care less at this point, because at the end of the day, I want safe streets, I want healthy children, I want healthy food, I want secure borders, I want lower energy prices, I want to be a dominant force on the world stage, and I don't want to have to worry every single day when my kids leave what the hell's happening. That's it. Not rocket science. Doge is out there chopping money left and right, $5 million or $50 million or $20 million. Was it $5 million for condoms in Gaza? I mean, the list, and I'm going to put this list up here in an episode coming up, is insane, the money that we are spending on things. Transsexual plays, transsexual books, comic books, DEI in Syria, just the craziest list of stuff that American tax dollars, the stuff that you and I work our ass off for, is just going to get slush fund for the Democrats to just give this money away. We are in a really great place for the Republic. It's going to get a little bit rough. It's going to get a little bumpy. But guys, at the end of the day, God bless the United States of America. God bless common sense. And please watch over our president and all of our lawmakers that are putting common sense right back in the forefront. I couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be more proud. Seeing the military's numbers and recruitment going back up through the roof is just, it makes me so, so proud. So at the end of the day, we have so much to be thankful for. Stay with me here, Ken Nowitzki, Into the Storm. We've got all kinds of great stuff coming up as we learn how to work this thing called podcasting, the Excellence in Podcasting Network. And, we'll eventually get to the point where we have guests. We're going to talk about culture. We'll talk, there's so many things. A lot of people always ask me about my monster truck career and stuff, and maybe I'll talk a little bit about that. It's cool, traveling and seeing the world and all that good stuff. But we've got a lot of great stuff. So, guys, like, subscribe, share, follow, put on the reminders, and just know how much I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And you don't have to agree with me, because sometimes I don't agree with myself, I guess. But at the end of the day, I want everybody to be peaceful, happy, prosperous, And I just want you to be blessed, because that's what it's all about. It's all about family first and being blessed and be able to provide. And I think that common sense helps with that. Love you guys. God bless. Thank you for coming into the Storm with Ken Novitsky. I will see you guys again real soon. Bye-bye.